Welcome to the new hand embroidery series where I'll run through some tutorials on basic embroidery stitches while decorating the Sophie's Garden tote bag. In this week's video we will be looking at the embroidery stitch known as fly stitch. This is great for doing little individual curves or V-shapes in your embroidery work. So before we begin, you'll need to get your thread ready. So I'm using 2 long strands of embroidery floss, which are separated from a 6-strand skein. I will fold those over to double them up and then attach to my needle. To tie off on the back, all I do is I make sure that the looped end of the embroidery floss is where you would normally have your knot. I'll pick up a stitch on the back of the work and pass my needle through the loop and then pull it tight. So I've been able to join my thread to the project without having to use a knot. To begin with the fly stitch, what you'll do is you'll bring your needle up at point A. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the small curves just outside of the beading part of the project. So I brought my needle up at point A and I'm taking it down at point B, which is the other side of the curve. You'll notice that I don't pull the thread all the way through. I've got it looped because I want to bring my needle up in the center point of that curve inside of the loop. And then I'll pull that loop tight and I'm passing my needle and thread over the top of my loop and going down in the same center point that I came up to secure the stitch in place. Like so. I'm now going to do the small triangular space just along from where I finished. I bring my needle up on the left hand side of the triangle. This is my point A. Insert my needle down at point B, which is the other side of the triangle. And then I'm going to bring my needle up at the point, the top point of the triangle in between the loop. Pull it tight to create the shape. The thread and the needle will pass over the top of that loop and I'll insert it back down in the same hole. So the same place where I just brought my needle up to couch the stitch in place. Next is that small curve at the bottom of the pyramid of triangles. I'm going to bring my needle up at the bottom left-hand side of the curve. Put my needle back down at the other side of the bottom of the curve. Leave myself a loop so that I can see where I need to bring my needle up, which is the central point of that curve, the top curve. Bring my needle up so that the thread passes through the loop. And then position my thread and needle over the top of my loop and insert the needle back down again in the same place that I have just come up. So we'll just continue in that manner, creating as many fly stitches as you require for your project. And it's really good practice to do a good handful of these stitches at any one time. Good luck! If you've been enjoying this series of videos and you'd like to see more, click the subscribe button and the bell so that you can receive notifications of new videos. You can also follow us on Patreon at Unravel and Unwind, and all the links will be in the description below.